Right, so divine scales are being balanced in your life, okay? You're heading into a new beginning if you're not already there, and spirit is saying that they've been sending you signs, synchronicities, things like this. And spirit wants to know that your wishes are coming true. If you might have already seen evidence of this, but it's literally lift off and lucky break, and that card has been coming out for the last few days. So spirit really wants you to know, if it's not here yet, it's coming. You found harmony. I think that's why 555 is here. It's a change, and that's the change that you've made. And one of the big changes that you've made is through a lesson you've learned, and it's a couple of things. You've learned that you don't need people, and if they're in your life, it's because you want them there, and that losing people is not a loss if they don't belong there. Perhaps before you were dealing with some codependency and you felt like you needed people, and you were actually inviting people to your table that didn't belong there because they didn't have your best interests at heart. So you've literally let go of the old, and you're more now at peace and harmony. And I think spirit, we've got two God cards out here. I think God, spirit are going to give you this lucky break, your wish is coming true, as a sort of gift for passing this lesson. And you're only going to go through soft lessons now. You've done the hard work. I think you're much more peaceful than you used to be. This energy over here, I'll tap into a moment. You stopped going round and round. You learned the lesson, you learned what you needed to, and you listened to God, you listened to higher power, and now you can be truly blessed. You were always blessed because you're a high priestess energy, but you weren't listening the way that you are now. Like now, it's very loud. You're probably a truth teller. I think I'm tapping into somebody who's very wise, as we've got the high priestess out here, but you're listening to your high priestess voice. And maybe your wishes are coming true. You can see it already. You can feel the signs. You can feel the energy. This is just confirmation. But part of the reason why this is happening is because you refuse to go round and round with this energy over here. Again, it doesn't have to be romantic, but it does have a romantic edge. But if you've been brought here, and it's not so romantic, you're not interested in a romantic reading, just translate it to how it fits, because that's how spirit works. Okay, so you had a divine connection with somebody, possibly your ex, but again, like I just said, it doesn't have to be. I believe you fell in love with this person fast, okay? And you didn't expect to get your heart broken. You thought you were just going to be together, and it would be healing for you. And in fact, it was the complete opposite. It caused a ruckus, is what I'm hearing, and you did end up in heartbreak, and it may have actually impacted your faith. I think maybe you recognize that this was, this person was supposed to be in your life in some way straight away. You could feel there was some kind, you recognized them before you got to know them. You knew it was divine, and you believed in divine timing, and you were going round and round, like, why is this not healing me? Why is this ripping me open? And I think it was because you were sacrificing yourself constantly with your love being the center of this situation. And what happened is, once you healed your heart, you stop sacrificing yourself, okay? And it's very possible that not that you gave up on divine time, but you're not waiting for divine timing. You found your self-worth. You know that you've got a lucky break elsewhere, and the lucky break could just be breaking away from this. But I'm being pulled to this runner card, and then I'm being called to this gratitude card. I think you fell in love with the divine. The divine saved you, and you simply don't want to go back to heartbreak, and that's what you see this as. And I feel like you might not feel like there's enough charisma, there's not enough chemistry to keep this relationship going. But yeah, it doesn't have to be romantic. Right, so these people or person wanted to control you, okay? So this is why divine timing couldn't come at play because they weren't listening to the divine call, okay? I'm hearing there was something about you they couldn't tolerate, and it might be because you're quite humble but gifted, genuinely kind but not asking for anything. It rubbed them up the wrong way, okay? Because this person or people are interested in control, exerting themselves, pecking order, all of those sorts of very 3D, insecure based, rooted mechanisms. And they wanted you chained, they wanted you codependent, and I think you were for a while, and you broke free from this. This is why Spirit is gifting you this new life, which is going to be much, which is, I think already is more abundant, but I'm hearing, wait and see. I'm hearing it's gonna blow your mind. Yeah, so essentially these people or person, and I feel like it's not only the romantic interest, if that's what you're tapping in here for today. They were hiding contempt for you because there's something about your energy, especially if you're high priestess energy and you've got gifts and you're just naturally not in competition and all of those things. If you haven't done the work, it just rubs people up the wrong way, and you were sacrificing yourself for these people to keep them in your energy because you had this codependent nature which you don't have anymore. And these people are essentially low vibrational. We've got demonic attachments here, and if that doesn't ring true for you, it's just low vibrational energy working with the world and the flesh and the 3D, rather than recognizing the feminine, the divine feminine, the spirit, the intuition. They're more interested in the 3D. Get up, go to work, go to sleep, compare. That am I better? Ego driven stuff. Right. And these people are materialistic, but I feel like something's moved, okay? They got themselves trapped in something, trying to control you. They probably, they expected it to work, these people, and perhaps it did for a while, but you escaped that net, and you're with all these beautiful, lovely feelings over here. God, scales being balanced, signs, wishings coming true, blessed, just it feels lovely. Okay, that can go over there. Yes, this is your energy now, and before you were merging and you were somewhere here in the middle, and it was dragging you down. This person got themselves trapped because they hoped they would trap you, but something's happened where the universe has played a trick on them to some extent, and they've now got chained or trapped into a situation where they've got financial duties with someone else. So I don't know if they got home together. This person knows a lot about them. I'm hearing like they could get them in, like trouble. They've got something over them, okay? And they dived into this, giving you a brick wall, hoping that you would continually chase and climb that wall until you recognized, I'm not climbing a brick wall anymore. I can go elsewhere. There's a beautiful garden here that I can go to. They're now stuck because they don't love this person, and if they do love this person, they're not in love with this person, they're in love with you. And if it's not romantic, you were the stronger connection. You say it's friend, like in even work, they preferred you the most, okay? So this person, this all happened because they didn't feel like they deserved you in the first place. That's why they had this contempt for you. And again, put it where it fits. If it's friends, family, there's something about your energy that made them feel a certain way. And even if it wasn't conscious, that's what was going on. But there was a soul connection here, and that's what I'm brought to this divine timing up here. It was a divine connection that they ignored. They ignored it to stick to their ego, to stick to materialism, but that's almost like fizzled out. Spirit, I don't know, Spirit's attacked them there, like in some way, or they're just waking up. They're waking up to the fact, realizing there's more to the world than the 3D. Maybe they were into the masculine side of the world, rather than the feminine, which is the intuition, the sacredness, the spirit. To me, is feminine. Yeah, so this person sabotaged this commitment, and they're starting to realize the mistakes they made. And I think one of the mistakes they made was choosing materialism over you, choosing something they thought was going to be easier to control, or whatever it might be, easier, made them feel better. They didn't have to look in the mirror as much around this person or people, things. Again, it could be jobs, anything. But this person also knew about the soul connection when they first met you. That's why you fell so fast, and so did they. But they wanted to control it. They wanted to keep whatever ego thing that they have themselves chained to as well. But spirit had other plans, and that's why you were broken free from this energy. But interestingly, they're starting to feel sorry that they have done what they've done. Now your energy's not there. I wouldn't be surprised they got a reading and they know that you're good and you're being blessed, and you're gonna, you're gonna do better without them. Now they're ready for commitment. Okay, and again, if it's not romantic, it means they now they want to do the right thing. Now they want to value you. Now they want to embrace this feminine, not just the masculine energies that they've been pursuing all their life, not just the 3D world, that understanding the spirit. So there we are. That's what's going on there. But I genuinely, it says give it to God, but I genuinely feel like you gave this to God, or God gifted you a situation where you learned to be grateful without this. And I think not only are you going to be stepping into abundance and a lucky break, it was a lucky break leaving this. And I don't think you care much whether it's the people or friends who want to value you better, or it's a romantic ex situation and they're ready for commitment. You've vibrated out of this. You were never at this vibration. You just didn't know your worth, so you were falling for this vibration, probably from trauma or wounds, or just having an excessive big heart. But you now listen to your high priestess energy the most. It's the loudest. Anything else, please, Spirit, for the highest good of all and God's will? Yeah, you're in alignment now. What else was there? Exhaustion card has come out. I think this was exhausting. It was exhausting trying to tune in to a radio station. It's just an analogy. That wasn't your frequency, and it was just static. Like that horrible, that sound, and that's what you were dealing with. And it was exhausted. There was nothing light-hearted about it, and if it was momentary with a big drop-off. But when you get into alignment, it can also cause exhaustion. So I think Spirit's just saying, if you are, going through spiritual awakenings can be quite exhausting. There's ascension symptoms, and exhaustion's one of them. So just give yourself some grace. I just saw self-love, so that would imply grace. Yeah, so this energy was just distracted. I think they were hoping that you've gone into this energy and you're just distracted and you'll come back, because that's what they were always doing. Probably they text you eventually, they'd invite you eventually, they'd give you attention eventually. But I don't think you have any interest in that, because you've got God's love now, and you've got love for yourself. Yeah, they didn't believe that this separation was permanent, but for the most part of you, for the most of you, I think the separation in your eyes is permanent. And if it's not that, your boundaries are permanent. Anything else, Spirit, for the highest good of all? Yeah, so you've essentially rejected this. And so you should. Anything else, Spirit? These people were making you feel like you weren't enough anyway, like you're not good enough to... Good enough, just generally, that was the energy they were broadcasting to you consistently. And it was just because you weren't tuning into the right vibration. And it was because they didn't feel enough around you. And you head into paradise now. You're in alignment, wishes coming true, blessed, God, passed the test, releasing the old. You've got clarity, high priestess. You're considered the runner. You're beyond materialism now. Maybe there was a time you weren't. You're in touch with the feminine side, intuition, spirit, sacredness. Yeah, and this person's interested in lusting. And this person needs to go through a detox, probably like a rehab or something. Yeah, this is over for you. Yeah, this person doesn't want to heal. That's why it's upside down. Anything else, Spirit? Yeah, you've lost hope in this situation. You're not waiting for divine timing to bring this person back around. Yes, they might do. You know, like I do feel energy of them possibly going through a spiritual awakening themselves, you know, realising the 3D world isn't just all there is. You know, perhaps they're having a few wake-up calls. I think part of that is that you were a mirror to them, and that they've been nothing but karmic to you. And life has given them a karmic lesson in return, because they've lost you. They know that you found paradise without them. This person wasn't even flexible with you. These people probably treated you like crap. Yeah, so you release this and walk through a portal. Spirit helped you do this. It was the healthy choice. I do think this person, although it says healing here upside down, distracted, and they're not flexible, their journey is that they're going to have to heal. They have to heal. And it's because you've released them. It's because you've rejected them. Because they're in love with you. And again, put it where it fits. And they were bluffing that they weren't in love with you, entertaining all these low vibrational ego fixes to fill the void. And it's not doing that. They're in love with you. You're the one that's on their mind. And if it's not romantic, the same goes. Yeah, I've got 2 gratitude cards to come out. I think they're grateful for you now, but Spirit's asking you to be, you know, make sure you're keeping your gratitude up. You know, sometimes you need to be reminded. Yeah, so you shed this situation. And essentially when they come back to you, possibly healed, at least at the beginning stages of their healing, it's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to you whether you take them back. Yeah, this person's longing. They're running out of patience. You're not back yet. Yeah, patience upside down. I think their money's been impacted. I think Spirit's, again, it could just be their well-being and they're struggling because all they're doing is thinking about you. The butterfly's upside down because they didn't get to trap you. They didn't get to control you. At least not for as long as they wanted. And I think they chose abundance over you, whether that was because things appeared better, you know, like job or whatever, and for doing that and not following their heart, not listening to the divine call, because they knew who you were when they met you, but decided to control you and keep their ego alive. Spirits attack their abundance because that's the thing that they chose. And again, it can be all sorts of things, but I do see money here. Perhaps you didn't have enough for them or something. And if it's not that, there was just something that they were supposed to be more spiritually advanced than that, and they weren't. So they're reaching their breaking point, so they have to heal. They're the ones going through the emotional storm, and possibly whoever they got in, you know, decided to muck about with, because I'm being brought to sneaky link and lipstick evidence. They're going through hell. They're not even in love with this person. They're thinking about you all the time. And you're gone. Yeah, this person was a narcissist. I think this person's shocked that you don't want to be with them, that you don't want higher commitment with them. I think they thought you were sitting on the shelf waiting for them. It was a pleasure for you to sit on that shelf waiting for them. And again, put it where it fits. Again, friends, family. They thought you enjoyed waiting on that shelf, waiting for them to come back and, I don't know, like you're a toy and, you know, have a little fun time and then put it back on the shelf. But you've headed towards a safe passage now. What you were dealing with wasn't safe. Yeah, and you're also, that's why soft lessons is out here, because you were by holding on to this vibration that wasn't good for you, didn't belong to you, you were taking on unnecessary karma. But a balance is here. Scales are being balanced. 555. This was divine justice for you to step into this and realize you don't need this, and you probably don't even want it. In fact, for most of you, I don't think you do. I think these people, okay, I'm getting two messages. These people, if it's friends, family or something like that, they just wanted you just, again, like that feeling of on the shelf, standby, waiting, can't wait, you know, like a little dog, you know, just can't wait for their owner to come back. Hopefully, you know, they take me on a walk, you know, like forgive everything, that kind of energy. But also this person had a lifestyle where they like sneaky links, they like many options, okay? And you finally put your boundaries up. Maybe you didn't know about this, but I suspect a lot of you did. And, you know, what are you going to do with somebody like that exactly? Escape. That's what you're going to do with someone like that. And you did. You got your lucky break. You escaped. And you're not heartbroken anymore. Time's up on this. You're rising. You rose above this. You were already above this. I'm just getting the image of the butterflies. And you were just under a net. And they were keeping you down until you're like, hold on. I can fly much higher than this. And Spirit released that net. Maybe the net wasn't even there. It was something you put there yourself, you know, with your mind. You change yourself in the name of love and then realize this person, yeah, they might love you and think about you all the time, but that they're working on such low vibrations, they can't give you any truth. They can't give you anything real. They're sneaky in nature. And again, if it's not romantic, I think whoever you were dealing with, they're sneaky in nature. Anything else for the highest good, please, Spirit? Yeah, they wanted you in cloudy judgment, and I think for a while you were. Oh, gosh, that's too many, Spirit. Yeah, it says yes, so I think you were. Maybe you were fearful to let this go because you felt like you loved them so much, so you were doing your best to embrace it, hoping one day, but not anymore. You've given up on this connection. Yes, there is a connection or connections, but you've got a connection with God now. Yeah. You're grounded about whatever. The love has come upside down because I don't think you're rejecting this love. Yes, they probably do in their own way, but it's not what you want. It's not what you're looking for. And again, if it's people, places and things, it's the same. Yeah, they do somewhere, but it doesn't translate. It's not good enough. It's not going to help you grow. It's not the healthy choice for you. These people don't want good, like, new beginnings for you. They hide contempt. They're sneaky, probably say one thing to you but actually feel another. You know, like, it's just it's not grounded. Yeah, the backstabbing. You've left behind backstabbing energy. And it's just low vibrational. You know, they may have their own awakening. This lifetime, next lifetime, who knows? But I don't think you're that interested in it, but it is coming out in your energy. These people would clip your wings. They would cut your wings off. and not have a second thought about it. And that's possibly what they were doing. They were holding those nets, those butterfly nets, so you stayed down. The spirit had to burn their hands so you could be free. Yeah, they've got an obsession with you, addiction. This person's got a lot going on. Possibly addicted to lots of third parties, addicted to being sneaky. And of course, when you've got, you know, they've got a lot of voids. This person's clearly has a lot of pain, and this is how they coped with it. And it may, you know, filled their ego in voids for 5 minutes. But I believe you've also encountered quite a lot of pain. And I'm not saying you're perfect, but you were honouring the connections as best you could without being sneaky, without being competitive, without being abusive. Yeah, without fear in your heart. You did it. You still kept your heart pure. And again, it doesn't mean you're a saint and they're sinners, but you dealt with the situations differently. You didn't try to control anybody. You didn't try to feel better than anybody. You know, and do things to feel better than people. Yes, these people were dishonest. And they made a lot of mistakes. I mean, life, you know, everyone makes mistakes in life, but they're not willing to learn either. They're not in that energy. They're almost thriving off it because they're so low vibrational. Anything else, Spirit, for the highest good of all? Yeah, so they just met with your silence now. They know you're not confused. They know you've made the healthy choice. They know you're heading to your new beginning. They know you're not conflicted. They know you don't want some seductive energy that's sneaky and cheating and after the next best thing consistently, and that may love you but not really. Like, you know, if they can't show it, they can't show it. This is you, 9 of Pentacles. Self-sufficient. Focused on your achievements, big or small. You escaped this tower. They didn't know that you were a high priestess, these people. Maybe they had an inkling, but now you've left, they understand. But before, because you were hanging around, putting up with nonsense, allowing yourself to be the one that felt rejected, they wondered. And that they put you lower down on the list, you know, in their sort of comparative low vibrational pecking order that they have. Like, oh, I can manipulate this one, I can get over on this one. Oh, all I need to do is do a compliment once every 6 months and she'll believe me, or he believe me. This is the kind of energy of the people you're dealing with. So, you know, just they've got some lessons to learn. Yeah, they wanted you at a disadvantage, possibly saw you as disadvantaged, or pushed that energy on you. But you're not. You're 9 of Pentacles and High Priestess. Anything else, please, Spirit, for the highest good of all? Please allow the messages to fly out. Yeah, you're not giving your cup of love to these people anymore, and now they're in the 9 of Swords. You were upright all the time, giving a cup of love, 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 understanding, understanding. Cup of love, understanding, understanding. I'm not saying you were perfect and you never snapped, or, you know, but the energies are night and day. But, you know, if you're human, so yeah. So you're not manifesting that. You're not waiting to manifest this union or happiness here. You've left. Spirit doesn't want you to. You're not confused. This was deceptive energy. This was deceptive energy, and they were exploitative in nature. That's why the King of Swords is upside down. Or the Queen of Swords upright. And the Queen of Cups that's up upside down here, that's you. It's not that you are a Queen of Cups upside down. It's that you're not giving your love to these situations anymore. You've got your sword up and you're far away. But they could see you as like arrogant or something now, you know, like, but you simply don't want to incur more karma. You don't want to manifest with these people. I wouldn't be surprised if this person's chose somebody who's a Queen of Cups upside down. Or they wanted to turn you into a Queen of Cups upside down. You know, through the pain. You know, you just become bitter and you don't learn the lesson. This is what they wanted you to do. They wanted to force you into silence, Hermit upside down. And just fear everything, you know, and so you would keep them in your life because you've got nothing else, you know, like they're sort of the best option to some degree, not desire connection and so forth, or not feel worthy. It's really just exactly devil card. I knew it. That's what they wanted for you. But you've got your sword up. You're this, you're High Priestess, Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. You're not disadvantaged. They're disadvantaged because they haven't got your energy. Okay. And the only hermit stuff you did was get into balance. You used it to soul search. But because of their low vibrational ways, they were hoping like, oh, you know, like, I don't know, like they wanted to punish you. There was contempt here. But Spirit woke you up out of this. Oh gosh, the reading just, yeah, it was fated for this to happen. Anything else, Spirit, for the High Spirit of all to close out the reading? Yeah, I don't think there was anything simple about this. You did really well. I mean, really well. Yeah, I think you had a group of people betraying you. And I wouldn't be surprised if this King of Wands upside down was working with a group of people. Oh. This person has issues with their finances at the moment. I don't think you care particularly, but for some reason Spirit wants you to know. Oh, do I have to say it, Spirit? This person wanted you heartbroken. They wanted to punish you. They wanted to do all this stuff, and it's just come right back to them. Because you came with a pure heart. To all of these people, you didn't play games. You weren't in competition. You were patient. You didn't bring fear to the table. And they were the absolute opposite. So now Spirit's breaking their hearts. So not only are you not around, they're attacking the finances because that's what they chose over you. And if it's not finances, it's something material, something worldly that they've chosen over you. And I think whoever they chose, if they did choose a person, you know that they've sort of chosen someone over you or something over you, that's ending as well. Like, they're getting rejected there. Anything else, Spirit? I better stop because I could go on all day. Yeah, so Spirit wants you to wait for... You've planted your seeds. You're out of this garden. You're the butterfly. You've flown away. You escaped. That's why the butterflies are here. It's not today for this energy. This fear card can go over there because you've learnt this. You've learnt balance. Time's up on this situation. You've got your sword up. That was fated to happen. You're self-sufficient. You're working on things. You passed this. And whatever you're doing, whether it's hobbies, projects, wait for results. It's coming. Because when I first started the reading, I felt, yeah, you're blessed now, and you had a lucky break, but you have no idea. Spirit's really gonna treat you well for having to endure this heartbreak, probably for quite a long time. Yeah, because you had somebody who was a Knight of Wands. Waste of time. Knight of Cups. That's how they treated you, in and out, when they were supposed to be divine. but this person wasn't even respectful. They were actually trying to punish you. And again, I don't think it's just one person. I think it's people. And they were supposed to be the sun in your life. Fire sign out. They were supposed to give you teamwork. But they were shallow. They chose the wrong path. And you chose peace. You came out of this conflict. Yeah, they're going to communicate with you, and it will be up to you. But, oh, I mean, what I'm hearing, I can't even say it, Spirit. I can't even say it. But believe me, it's gone back to them. Okay, so I'll close that out. Thanks for that, Spirit. Please, Archangel Michael, please, I thank you for your protection for myself and the collective. And please bless us. So mote it be.